Okay, he's part of the global group of Trump bashers. But hasn't he been? I mean, they had a reasonable conversation, or perhaps their relationship was going to be slightly rebuilt when they met at the White House. And really, how else was Mark Carney meant to react to President Trump when he was talking about making Canada the 51st state?
Well, there are, in fairness to President Trump, there are some Canadians who I think would rather their provinces be run from Washington than Ottawa in federal terms, particularly some of the Western provinces. But whether that was meant seriously, which I doubt, or meant as a joke, our two countries, Canada and the United States, are heavily intertwined economically, and they can either cooperate or they can battle. And the Canadian tariffs on U.S. goods, 200 or 300% on poultry, for example, just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And if the Canadians don't want to budge on those kinds of things, they've got to expect that at some point, America is their biggest customer. And the president has just made it more expensive to buy their products. So American products from other countries besides America, Canada, may become more attractive. This is going to have an impact on Carney's economy.
Of course, fentanyl was mentioned as one of the reasons, but it seems that fentanyl is a scapegoat, really, because not a lot of fentanyl comes through the Canadian border, does it?
I'm not up to date on the latest numbers, but my general impression is the problem is more severe on the U.S.-Canadian border than people tend to realize. Certainly, the bulk of the problem starts in Mexico. Of course, the U.S. Postal Service may be the single biggest importer, smuggler, transporter of fentanyl into the United States. And that's something that it's for another discussion, but something that has to be discussed, that they're simply using the mails to ship in fentanyl. They're using mails, they're using private shipping companies, just by sending boxes. It's small, it's easy, it's compact, it's light. It's not like people driving trucks full of human beings across the border in the middle of the night. But getting back to the U.S.-Canada position, I think that for Trump, some of this is personal, that he doesn't regard the new prime minister as a friend, an ally, but as somebody who kind of looks down his nose at the president of the United States and consequently looks down his nose at the United States. And so, something has to be done to shake his lapels and get his attention. And one would think a 35% across the board tariff would do that.